class we discussed about the nature of the carbon atom and nature of the bonding in carbon compounds and hybridization of the carbon compound. Nothing but sp3 hybridization, sp2 hybridization, sp hybridization. So today our topic is electropy. Today our topic is electropy. So what is the meaning of electropy? Same element exist in two or more physical forms. Almost the chemical properties will be same, but only differ in the physical properties. That phenomena is known as the electropy. Those forms are called as a electropic forms. Now see here, same element exist in two or more physical forms. Two or more physical forms. Okay now. That phenomena is known as the electropy. Now see here. This phenomenon is known as electropy. Those forms are called as electropic forms. Now coming to here, some element exhibits the electropy. Carbon exhibits the electropic property. Similarly, sulfur also exhibits the electropic property. Phosphorus also exhibits the electropic property. So coming to the sulfur, we have the three types of the electropic form: rhombic sulfur, monoclinic, plastic sulfur. Now coming to the phosphorus, red phosphorus, white phosphorus, violet, scarlet phosphorus, like that. Now coming to the carbon here, we have the mainly two types of electropic forms. One is the crystalline electropic forms. Crystalline electropic forms. Second one, amorphous. Amorphous forms. Once again I am saying here, carbon exhibits the mainly two types of electropic forms. Crystalline electropic forms. Second one, amorphous electropic forms. What is the meaning of crystalline and what is the meaning of amorphous? In case of the crystalline forms, the arrangement of the particles in a systematic order. That means the particles in the crystalline forms will be arranged in regular pattern. Systematic order will be present. In case of the amorphous, there is no regular arrangement or regular pattern of the arrangement of particles. That means the particles will be arranged randomly. That is a major difference between the crystalline and amorphous. Now see here, coming to the crystalline forms. Coming to the crystalline electropic forms. Other crystalline electrodes of carbon. The major examples are diamond, graphite, and C60. C60 nothing but Buckminster Fullerene. Next coming to here, amorphous. Amorphous forms are amorphous electrodes. Examples are coal, coke, lamp black, wood charcoal, animal charcoal, and gas carbon. These are the major examples to amorphous forms. Once I am repeating here, in case of the crystalline forms, the arrangement of the particles in a systematic order. In case of the amorphous forms, the particles arrangement will not follow the regular pattern. The arrangement of the particles will be random. Next, so crystalline electropic forms of the carbon. So carbon electrodes, mainly two types of electrodes, crystalline and amorphous. Another crystalline examples are diamond, graphite, and Buckminster Fullerene. These are the examples to crystalline electropic forms of carbon. Now one by one we have to discuss hybridization, structure and uses of these electrodes. Now coming to here, diamond. Okay, now in the diamond, the hybridization of carbon. In the diamond, the hybridization of carbon is sp3 hybridization. What is the hybridization of carbon? sp3 hybridization. Here, three-dimensional structure. Three-dimensional structure. What is the meaning of three-dimensional structure? Okay, now, in three ways, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Each carbon bonded to the four other carbon atoms. Okay, now, here the bonds are only between the carbon. That means covalent bond linkage. Covalent bond linkage. So here we can say diamond and graphite. Covalent bond linkage is present. Now see here three-dimensional structure. And coming to here, the bond angle is 109.28 minutes. 109 degrees 28. And each carbon is bonded to four other carbon atoms. Each carbon is bonded to four other carbon atoms. Now that means around each carbon, four carbon atoms are attached. So tetrahedral arrangement. So like that a gate molecule is formed. So you can say three-dimensional structure. And one more thing is diamond is the hard material. Diamond is a hard material. Diamond is a hard material. So because of the hardness, again diamonds are useful. Okay, to cut the diamonds and as a glass cutters. And next point is diamond is the bad conductor of electricity. Diamond is the bad conductor of electricity. What is the reason here? When the electricity possible, flow of charge, flow of electrons. Here around the each carbon 4 electrons there. The 4 electrons involved in the bonding with 4 carbon atoms. So no free electrons available. That's why diamond is the bad conductor of electricity. So coming to the structure here, see here each carbon bonded to the 4 other carbon atoms. Now like this, again each carbon bonded to the 4 other carbon atoms. So like this three-dimensional structure. Three-dimensional structure. So the bond angle between the any two bonds is 109 degrees 28 minutes. Okay, the four bonds, that means each carbon attached with the four bonds. Each carbon attached with the four other carbons with a single bonds or sigma bonds. The bond energy is very high. That's why diamond is the hardest material. To break these bonds, huge amount of energy required. That's why the melting point of the diamond is very high. So that it is considered as a hardest material. Hardest material. Next, about diamond completed, the second allotropic form is graphite. What is the second allotropic form? Graphite. So graphite is a crystalline allotropic form of carbon. So here the hybridization of carbon in graphite is sp2 hybridization. What is the hybridization of the carbon here? sp2 hybridization. Second point is the bond angle will be 120 degrees and the geometry, that means doing the sp2 hybridization, the central atom acquires the trigonal planar shape. Trigonal planar shape. And see here, graphite has the layer structures. Graphite has the layer structures. Layer type structures. That means, see here, during the sp2 hybridization, each and every carbon again bonded to the three other carbon atoms. So 6 carbon atoms joined together form the hexagonal rings. These hexagonal rings joined together form the layer. Like that, some layer one over another, 1 over another gives the graphite structure. Now see here, if we take this carbon atom, this carbon atom attached with the 3 other carbon atoms. These carbon atoms join together form the hexagonal rings. These hexagonal rings. Again, these rings join together form the layer structures. Let me see here. Here I am drawing the layer structure. Hexagonal ring, another ring, assume it is the one layer. Next one, okay, another layer. Next, third layer, this one. See here, hexagonal rings like this. So between these layers, land and dispersive forces are present. Between the layers, land and dispersive forces. Otherwise, we can say van der Waals forces of attractions are present. So the distance between the layer is 3.35 angstrom. The distance between the layer, any two layers, is 3.35 angstrom. So like this, these layers is one layer, second layer, third layer. These layers are filed one over another, gives the graphite structure. And the distance between them is 3.35 angstrom. So because of the layer structure, graphite is a soft material. Graphite is a soft material. That's why graphite is used as a lubricant. Okay, now it is used as a lubricant and it is used to make the lead pencil. And one more important point is graphite is the good conductor of electricity. Graphite is the good conductor of electricity. What is the reason? There are only 3 electrons involved in the bonding. That means each and every carbon have the free electron. The free electrons can form the delocalized pi bonds. That means we are supposed here free electrons there, so they can form the pi bond. Here free electron there, they can form the pi bonds. Like that, delocalized pi electron system is present in the graphite. So because of the availability of the free electrons, graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Coming to the uses, graphite is used as a lubricant and it is used to make the lead pencil. And because of the good conductor of electricity, graphites are used as a electrodes. Next, third one, Buckminster Fullerene. So nothing but C60. See here, these are the molecular solids. Now see here, they have fixed number of carbon atoms. Fixed number of carbon atoms. Second one is they have the closed cage structure, like soccer ball. Now coming to here, Buckminster Fullerene, here 60 indicates the 60 carbon atoms. Okay, once again, Buckminster Fullerene. Generally, these fullerenes are maybe hollow spherical in shape or ellipsoids otherwise cylindrical and different. Now we are discussing about the Buckminster Fullerene. A Bucky Fullerene indicates the spherical in shape. Spherical in shape. Okay now. The scientists Carl Smalley and Proto have done the experiments on the Buckminster Fullerene and they got the Nobel Prize. Now what is the shape of the Buckminster Fullerene? Soccer ball. Now see here, each molecule contains how many carbon atoms? 60 carbon atoms. These 60 carbon atoms are arranged in a pentagon and hexagon ring. 5 membered and 6 membered ring like this. 5 membered and 6 membered rings. So here 12 pentagons there. 12 pentagons and 20 hexagons. 20 hexagons. That means see here all these 60 carbon atoms are arranged in the pentagon and hexagonal rings. The total shape becomes soccer ball. So the arrangement of carbon in the hexagon and pentagon. Total how many pentagons there? 12. How many hexagons are there? 20 hexagons. Here uses of the Buckminster Fullerene. First of all, it is used in the treatment of cancer cells like melanoma, and second one to medical purpose to target the resistant bacteria. To target the resistant bacteria. Medical purpose are very useful in the treatment of cancer cells like melanoma. Second one to target the resistant bacteria. Next one, nanotubes. Nanotubes. See here, nanotubes are cylindrical. Nanotubes are cylindrical in structural type. Okay, cylindrical structural arrangement. Okay, now coming to the graphite. Graphite has a layer structure. Suppose you have the one graphite layer. If you roll the one graphite layer into cylindrical type, then we call it a nanotubes. Here also the hybridization of the carbon. Hybridization of the carbon is sp2. And then the good conductor of electricity. Good conductor of electricity. Good conductor of electricity. Good conductor of electricity. So here cylindrical structures. See here, in this one the particles are arranged in the hexagonal rings. Hexagonal arrangement of particles, that is carbon atom will be present. Next, coming to the uses of the nanotubes. Coming to the uses of nanotubes. Because of the good conductor of electricity, they are better conductor than the copper also. So they are used as a molecular wires. Used as a molecular wires. Nothing but to connect the one component to another component. We are using the copper wire. So in place of the copper wire, we can use the nanotubes also. Next one, we are a molecular wire. Next one, the IC. IC means integrated circuits. Integrated circuits. So in the integrated circuits also, nanotubes are useful. So once I am repeating, nanotubes are the cylindrical and structural arrangement. That means graphite is the layer structure. If we roll the layers into cylindrical, then we get the nanotubes. Same hybridization sp2. Nanotubes are the good conductor of electricity. Next one here uses as a molecular wires and integrated circuit. And last one is nanotechnology. Nanotechnology. Okay, nanotechnology. Nanotubes are highly useful. That is the one special chemistry, one special branch of the chemistry, nanotechnology. Next, graphene. See here, it is derived from graphite. Derived from graphite. It is a transparent material. Transparent material. What is the meaning of transparent? Which allows the light through it. Okay, now next one. It is 200 times. 200 times stronger than steel. 200 times stronger than steel. Okay, now 200 times stronger than the steel and 6 times lighter than steel. Lighter than steel. Okay, once again, graphene derived from the graphite. Okay, now it is a lightweight material. It is a transparent material. It is 200 times stronger than the steel and 6 times lighter than the steel. Suppose if you take the 1 mm thickness of the graphene, in that one 3 millions of layers are present. 3 million of layers are present. Next, so different types of electrodes of carbon completed. Carbon has mainly two types of electrodes, crystalline and amorphous. Okay, now under the amorphous we have the coal, coke, wood charcoal, animal charcoal, lamp black, like that. And coming to the crystalline, diamond, graphite, Buckminster fullerene, and we discuss about the nanotubes and graphene also. Next our topic is versatile nature of carbon. Versatile nature of carbon. Okay, now what is the meaning of the versatile means? How the carbon is different from the other elements. The meaning is, see here, except carbon, remaining 117 elements, approximately we have the 50,000 or 25,000 compounds. Now coming to the carbon, only carbon can able to form the 3 million to 5 million. Nowadays we have approximately 5 million organic compounds, nothing but carbon compounds. Then what are the special properties of carbon? Why the only carbon can able to form the so many number of compounds? How the carbon different from the other? On which properties? Okay, it is different from the other elements. So here, first one, valency. What is the first one? Valency. So what is the valency of the carbon? 4. Valency of carbon is 4. That means carbon can able to form the 4 bonds with other atoms. That means other carbon. Otherwise, other atoms, same atoms are different atoms. Next, coming to here, second one is catenation. What is the second one, Mama? Catenation. Coming to your catenation. What is the catenation? Self-linkage of the same element can able to form the long chains or branch or cyclic compound. That phenomena is called as a catenation. Suppose see here, self-linkage phenomena. Self-linkage. Self-linkage of same element. Self-linkage of same element can able to form the long chain or branch or cyclic. Suppose here I am taking the 4 carbon atoms. Now how these 4 carbons are arranged in a straight chain. So the 4 carbon atoms can arrange in the branch also, second branch also, like this. This type of arrangement, what you say? Branching compounds. Now these 4 carbon atoms can arrange in a cyclic nature also. So it is also one of the special property of the carbon. What is the catenation here? Self-linkage of the same element can form the long chain or branch or cyclic compounds. Next one, coming to here, third one is isomerism. What is the third one? Isomerism. So isomerism means compound having the same molecular formula but with different structures and different properties are called as a isomers. Once again, compound having the same molecular formula with different structures and different properties. At least they should be differ in the one property. Then we can call them as a isomers. That phenomenon is known as the isomerism. Coming to here, see here example I am taking butane, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2. What is the name of this compound? N-butane or simply butane. Next, see here, CH3, CH, CH3, CH3. See here, these two are the isomers. It is the N-butane, it is the isobutane. Isobutane. Formula same, but different structures are different. Then properties also different. The difference in the properties may be chemical or physical properties also. It is the third property. Next one is, fourth one is multiple bond formation. Fourth one is multiple bond formation. What is the meaning of multiple bond formation? See here, carbon can able to form the single bonds, double bonds and triple bonds with same carbon or with other atoms also. Suppose see here, CH2 double bond CH2, CH triple bond CH, next HCl triple bond. So it is one of the special property. Because of these four factors, carbon can able to form the so many number of compounds. So what is our topic here? Versatile nature of the carbon. That means why the carbon can able to form the so many number of compounds. So here four factors I explained to you: valency, catenation, isomerism and multiple bond formation. Because of these special four properties, carbon able to form the so many number of compounds. Next our topic is JJ Berzelius. J.J. Berzelius told that the compounds which are derived from the living things are named as the organic compounds or carbon compounds, which are derived from the non-living things are named as the inorganic compounds. And he made the one theory, the theory is the vital force theory. Vital force theory. See here, this theory given by the Berzelius. According to this theory, the scientists believed that in the organic compounds or carbon compounds, some vital forces are present. These forces possible only in the living things. Artificially in the laboratory, we can't synthesize or we can't produce these vital forces. That's why the scientists failed to prepare the organic compounds in the laboratory. But the first organic compound are carbon compound made by the scientist Frederick Wohler. Scientist name is Frederick Wohler. He made the urea. So the first organic compound made in the laboratory is the urea. Formula of urea is NH2 CO NH2. Okay, we decided to prepare the ammonium cyanide. So unfortunately, he got the isomer of the ammonium cyanide. That means he made the urea. See here, ammonium cyanide formula NH4CNO on heat. NH2CO NH2. Here ammonium cyanide is the inorganic compound. Here urea is the organic compound or carbon compound. Okay, now the olden days definition given like this: carbon compound also called as organic compound. The reason is the compound which are derived from the living organisms. So they named as the organic compound. So the first organic compound made in the laboratory is urea by the Frederick Wohler. So after the once preparation of the urea, okay, now vital force theory was shut down because other scientists believed that organic compounds or carbon compounds we can prepare in the laboratory also. Similarly, other scientists prepared the methane and acetic acid in the laboratory. So in the next class, we will discuss about the hydrocarbons and functional group and nomenclature of the hydrocarbons.